How's everybody doing this morning? It's really, really early. L.A.Kendrick back with another tale from the vault of Would You Dare. You know, and I'm really surprised that I've actually waited this long to do a video on this topic because it's right down the street from me. And again, we set the mood in the background so that you guys get that feel, that mysterious, ominous feel, right? That's what we're doing this for, the background. Ambience, if you want to call it that. But what I want to talk about today is something that was common. It was really commonplace back home where I grew up, and it's back in Kentucky. So we have a lot of weird stuff that happened in Kentucky. So here we go. Make sure that you like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Make this really quick and make this really brief. But this particular thing is like, let me go ahead and just pull it up. This thing is particularly like you know how we do a lot of topics here about, the whole Bigfoot, Sasquatch thing. That's what we do. But we talk about everything cryptid, supernatural, extraterrestrial, extra-dimensional, ultra-dimensional, the whole nine. We talk about everything here, right? And I want to just touch on this. I want to let these guys do their commentary, fair use. And just let these guys do their commentary, fair use for educational purposes only. And then I'll tell my story of what I remember hearing about this thing. So the party will start till you walk in, and now that you're here, let's begin.
Dream Monday. Henderson County, home to a legendary creature.
Huge, orangey, yellowy eyes.
There are people all across Kentucky who claim to have seen the same thing.
Josh Breslow takes you on the hunt for the hillbilly beast. L.A.K News, Mystery Monday at 6. Mystery Monday.
Okay, so that's one, right? And this is, again, fair use. So I want you guys to get a gander of this as well.
But something strange may also be lurking in these woods.
When we looked over there, there was a big, dark-colored creature standing across the slough.
It wasn't walking on all fours. It was walking upright.
The hair was long, a foot long, all over it, from top to bottom.
They were big eyes. The head had to have been bigger. Eyewitnesses report seeing a dark, hairy creature, 8 to 10 feet tall, and weighing up to 800 pounds. It is said to be covered with matted brown fur, and his eyes that appear black in the day and yellow-orange in darkness. The creature is also said to let out piercing shrieks and howls at night. And
So I'm gonna back it up. I'm gonna make sure that I got a still frame.
shrieks and howls, said to let out piercing shrieks and howls.
So let me get that still frame shot for you guys. And then I'm gonna tell my story. Okay, so as you can see, it's supposed to be a Bigfoot, right? But let me tell you the story that one of the stories I remember hearing. Like I said, we got everything because we got LBJ back home. I'm sorry, LBL, the Land Between the Lakes. All right, so we got that back home, and we have all kinds of crazy stuff. And again, I'm from Hopkins. It's Hopkinsville, Kentucky, right? So between Hopkinsville and Kentucky, this was in like the late '80s, early '90s, right? So between Hopkinsville, Kentucky, we had this toll booth, and I had an associate of mine back in the day, and he remembers the story very vividly because he stayed on Prosperity Lane. That's out in the country. So when you're going to Madisonville, Kentucky, a lot of times there were clubs and stuff like that during the the nightlife. So you go up to Madisonville and other places towards that way where they had better nightlife than Hopkinsville. Remember, Hopkinsville was part of the had the Hopkinsville Goblin back in the 50s. So we've always had really weird stuff. But back to the story. There was a toll booth, and I remember going through it plenty of times because there's so many, like I said, so many cities and little towns and places that you could go to have a good time on Fridays and Saturday nights. And again, right off into the wood line, You can see a lot of this. It's heavily wooded on both sides, and it's like going. I think it's like going to the Daniel Boone National Park. But nonetheless, this is the story that we got. It was really foggy, and they said it was around 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. And I remember this very vividly because it was on WABD, a radio station back out of Oak Grove, Kentucky, and it was just our radio station. So WABD had mentioned it, and I think a couple of TV show networks, news networks in Nashville made a comment about it. But this guy remembers it vividly. So this particular night, I think it was a Friday or a Saturday night, and right around 1, 2, or 3 o'clock in the morning, the traffic starts slowing down. So there was a guy and a girl manning the toll booths, and of course they didn't have any weapons or anything like that. For whatever reason, they didn't have any weapons or anything like that. So when you come through the toll booth, you know how a toll booth is. You either throw coins in, or you at the time you just throw coins in, and it would catch it. And this night it was cold, but it was a lot of fog, they said. And as they were coming through, traffic would come through, and then it stopped around because, again, the traffic stops because people are at their destination or wherever they're going to be. They may be coming back at 5 or whatever in the morning, but at this particular time, the traffic had stopped. So, the lady and the guy could see each other, because the fog would roll in, and they could, throw their hands up and, let each other know that they're still up and keeping each other up and keep each other company, occupied. So the lady said a deer shot across the street through the fog and into the wood line. And so she said she didn't think much of it. Then another one did the same thing. Another deer did the same thing. However, something big and black shot across the street, across the highway as well. Now you got to know this is a big highway. Well, it's a big road. Let me say it that way. Not a highway, but it's a big road. And it ran off into the woods in the direction of where the deer had run off into it. So she was kind of, thrown off by it, and she asked the guy, "Did you see that?" And he threw his hands up and he was like, "Yeah, I saw that." And the black shadow thing ran back across again. Okay, now this time it's starting to spook them out. So she opens the door and she says, "Did you see that?" And he says, "Yeah." And she's like, "Well, what was it?" And he said, "I don't know." He said, "It looks like somebody out here playing a game on us." And so she shut her door back, he shut his door back, and they said, basically they're gonna keep our eye out, And all of a sudden, right out of the fog, she hears a thump on the toll booth that she was in. And she's looking around and said it hit it so hard it shook the toll booth, but she couldn't see what it was. And all of a sudden it came back again, and this time it slammed both hands on the front of the window and peered in at her, and it screamed at her. She said it was huge. It was bigger than the toll booth, and I think the toll booth was like 8 feet tall or something like that. She said it was leaning down, looking and screaming at her, and it slammed its hands one more time, and then it shot off into the darkness again. She said in the report that I remember hearing, they got out those toll booths and left those toll booths wide open. Scared them that bad. I probably would have done the same thing because they had no way to defend themselves, and they weren't going to take a chance on the thing coming back. And as they were getting in the car, she said that, both of them agreed they could hear it screaming off into the distance in the fog. And they drove off, and they never came back. They did not want any more parts of that toll booth because this creature, whatever it was, scared them that bad. And a dude from Prosperity Lane can validate that and back it up. It's all kinds of stuff. And again, Mayslick, Kentucky had a white-haired 8-foot Bigfoot that terrorized them in the mid-'80s, early 80s, mid-'80s. Same thing. I had another friend that went fishing, and I did a story with Linda Eastburn speaking about this very thing that attacked him and his friends. Kentucky is full of all kinds of crazy stuff out there in those woods and those sticks, man. We call it the Wild Man. They call it the Wild Man or Wildcat Holler. So as a kid, it was scary and exciting at the same time. But my dude said he didn't sleep for it. He said, man, he had a whole hard time going to sleep for weeks because it's so close to where they live. And he said he was hearing all kinds of weird stuff out there. as well. So there you have it. So this particular thing, and I know the image may be grainy, and I do apologize for that. But again, I just wanted to touch on this story. And I'm really, really, again, as I said, I'm really surprised that I didn't touch on this before. And he could verify what I'm talking about, as a lot of people back home can verify, because we've seen a lot of stuff. We're from that particular area, and when they're talking about this particular creature, again, we have our own versions of it. And they, of course, they saying that it's the, excuse me, I'm gonna do the technical difficulties again. It's just so weird. But yeah, you see a lot of strangeness, man, high strangeness in Kentucky. It's out there in the sticks, and so ultimately, that's what happened. You guys tell me, would you dare have stayed if you were working at that toll booth, or would you have gotten your butt up out of there as well? Would you have stayed around to see what was going to happen next? Or would you have abandoned your post? But they never came back, so it didn't really matter to them. I'm asking you, what would you have done? Me, I probably would have done the same thing that they did. Something that big, that savage. So, in closing, y'all know how we do. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. I got a new book coming out, you guys. Again, I'm not a professional at this. I just do this one shot, one take to give you that authenticity. Make sure that you're getting something out of this. I appreciate all the support and all the new subscribers that have signed up for my channel. I really appreciate you guys. Let's get to 200 as quickly as possible. And in closing, make sure you check your dark homes. Check the dark recesses of your home. Check your closets. And if you happen to work late in the hours of the night or into the wee hours of the morning, like me, make sure you check under your car, check around your car, check inside of your car, because you never know if there's a hillbilly beast outside in the darkness waiting to make you a story. And this has been L.A.Kendrick. I'm going to tell from the bottom, would you dare? I'm going to go get my clients together. Got a long drive ahead of me. And until next time, you guys be safe and fill in the rest.